Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Matamid Field at the Outdoor Sports Complex on the campus of Adelphi University. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Matamid Field at the Outdoor Sports Complex on the campus of Adelphi University for today's non-conference contest featuring the Tigers of Homely Family University and your Adelphi University Panthers. And now for the starting lineups. First for the visiting Tigers. In goal, number 1, Jaina Pruz. At forward, number 8, Bella Skirchi. At defense, number 11, Maura Kilkenny. At midfield, number 13, Allison Looper. At forward, number 15, Stephanie Marino. At defense, number 17, Lexi Murphy. At midfield, number 19, Gianna Penacal. At forward, number 23, Bryn Hess. At defense, number 24, Grace Joyce. At midfield, number 27, Alyssa Hooten. And at defense, number 30, Abby D'Ambria. The Tigers are coached by Jill Reeves. She is assisted by Jerry Keehan and Melissa Levish. And now, the starting lineups for your Adelphi University Panthers. In goal, a junior from Santa Ponza, Spain, number 1, Alba Lopez. At defense, a freshman from East Islip, New York, number 3, Juliana Violi. At forward, a junior from Port Jefferson Station, New York, number 3, Jessica Schmidt. At defense, a junior from Bellport, New York, number 6, Isabella Banelis. At defense, a senior from West Hempstead, New York, number 11, Morgan Salmon. At forward, a junior from Sayville, New York, number 14, Lexi Hellman. At midfield, a sophomore from East Islip, New York, number 22, Dylan Trahey. At forward, a junior from Plainview, New York, number 23, Carly Issing. At midfield, a junior from Oceanside, New York, number 27, Michaela Romano. At defense, a senior from Massapequa, New York, number 28, Kayla Mushhorn. At forward, a sophomore from Holbrook, New York, number 30, Madison Apicella. The Panthers are coached by Brooke DeRosa. She is assisted by Paul Yard, Mervyn Shade, Danny Leone Jr., Manny Morale, Madison Pachione, and Will Hronfer. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
welcome one and all to beautiful Garden City, New York. It's Matamid Field on the campus of Adelphi University. We've got a non-conference matchup for you today. Adelphi Panthers at 1-1 on the season, playing host to the visiting Holy Family Tigers of the CACC. Danielton here on NE10. Now again, thanks for joining me on this Wednesday evening as we get the kickoff of the season is now already 2 games in before we barrel towards the NE10 season for the Adelphi Panthers. But certainly heat is going to be one of the conversation points. It's been a conversation point a few miles down the road with the U.S. Open for the last few weeks, and it continues on here with this 5 p.m. but a little bit delayed to a 6 p.m., 6:30 start due to some travel restrictions in the area. Adelphi coming off a 1-0 win against Malloy at home a few days ago, prior to having lost 2-0 to Wilmington in the opener. Holy Family, meanwhile, coming up, making the trip from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, lost 3-0 to East Stroudsburg University up near the Pocono Mountains afterwards having beaten Stack 5-0 in their opener. Let's get to those starting lineups first for the Holy Family Tigers in their road black uniforms with the light blue or sky blue trim, shorts, and shoulders with the white lettering. The number 0, Kristen Conway, the freshman from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, in net. Then numerically going up on the starting front line, the freshman from Delaware, number 8, Bella Skirchi. The number 11, the senior, at the back from Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, Maura Kilkenny. The number 13, Allison Loper, the junior from Bensalem, Pennsylvania, the midfielder, along with the number 15 up top, the graduate student also from Philadelphia, Stephanie Marino. The number 17, Lexi Murphy, the 5'2 junior from New Jersey. The number 19, the graduate student from Huntington Valley, Pennsylvania, Gianna Penna-Cal. The number 23, Bryn Hess, the junior from Benton, Pennsylvania. The junior from Philadelphia, number 24, Grace Joyce at the back. The number 27, Alyssa Hooten, the junior from Pocono Summit, Pennsylvania, has scored 1 goal already this season in that win against Stack, along with 4 other goal scorers. And rounding out the starting lineup for Holy Family, the number 30, Abby Diambra. On the other side for Adelphi, starting in net for the first time this season, Alba Lopez, the junior from Mallorca in her first season, coming over from Cowley, the junior. Number 2, the freshman from East Islip, New York, playing outside back, Juliana Violi. The number 3, Jessica Schmidt, the junior from Port Jefferson Station, New York. The number 6, Isabella Benelis, the junior from Bellport. The number 11, the rock in the back, the number 11, Morgan Salmon, the senior from West Hempstead, New York. The number 14, Alexis Hellman, the junior from Sayville. The number 22 in the midfield, Dylan Trahey, the sophomore from East Islip, New York. The number 23, Carly Issing, the junior from Plainview, New York. The number 27, Michaela Romano, the junior from Oceanside, and one of those stalwarts in the midfield. The number 28, of her getting forward. You can already see her on this near sideline, Kayla Mushorn. And the number 30, the woman to watch, the reigning player of the year in the NE10, the reigning rookie of the year in the NE10. We'll take a break for talking about her accolades in just 1 season of NE10 action last year. We'll be talking about it plenty throughout the broadcast. And that is, of course, the number 30, the sophomore from Holbrook, New York, and the Sachem East product, Madison Apicella. To kick this one off, it's just been a little bit of possession for Adelphi in their own half. And that is kind of what head coach Brooke DeRosa in her 9th season would like to do. Usually, nowadays, Brooke DeRosa is one of the more experienced coaches on the sideline, especially in these early non-conference games. But on the other side, Holy Family, with Jill Reeves in her 12th season as head coach and 20th overall. She was an assistant coach from 2004 to 2011 for the Tigers. These teams with comparable amount of success, expectations are that they will find themselves more regularly than not in the NE10 tournament, as that is a giveaway by Salmon, but it went off the Holy Family Tiger. So this is a cheeky little throw-in from Mushorn into Schmidt. And Salmon powers it forward for Apicella. If she can switch the field, there's some room to run into, and here's Viola. You were promised you would get forward, and the left back will do that aplenty this evening. Working the 1-2, cut off, but still on top of it, looking to cross in, but Hellman got it caught in her feet. So Holy Family, for the first time, under a little bit of pressure.
Nothing.
Bryn Hess started all 17 games she played in last year, scoring 1 goal for Holy Family. Has the assignment of that left wing, where she will be contending with Carly Issing, playing as the left winger today. As Adelphi do play in, at least to start the game, as the first offside flag is up. But they do play in a bit of a 4-3-3. But different parts of the field. You could really call it a 4-2-3-1 if you'd like to, with Apicella being in the middle. You can see the Lions now, even defending, it's a 4-1-2-3. Apicella on the ball. Almost had it taken right off her foot by Kilkenny. But getting it back.
Relax. Good Tigers, relax, Tigers.
Good piece of skill there by Trehi. Out to the wing.
Nothing.
One touch. Got it behind the defender. And the cross in. Nobody there at the top of the box. But Adelphi with early possession.
Let's
You can see what their
go,
ideas are.
Tigers.
And they want to do better than they did against Wilmington in the home opener.
Get
A lot
it,
of possession,
BL.
a lot of ideas, but
Go,
not many chances.
Tigers.
They fell in that game. I want to find some of those things. Find that finishing product. This ball will stay the way of the Tigers, who last season were 7-5-8, 5-2-5 in the CACC. They wound up winning their first round game in the conference tournament against Goldie Beacom. And then it was a 4-2 loss on PK, that being 0-0 into double overtime. They played all the way through, including extra time, got all the way to penalties with Bridgeport, the Purple Knights, who more recently than not were national champions at the Division II level. They took them to the wire. Took, again, 4-2 penalties for Bridgeport to survive against Holy Family in the semifinals of the CACC tournament last year. And as expected, the preseason came out, and Holy Family found themselves in third, just trailing Thomas Jefferson, and again, the team that beat them in the semifinals in Bridgeport. So that's the top three for you. Adelphi on the other side. These two teams, not only do they share the same record at 1-1 so far in the season, yeah, a lot of teams are 1-1, but they also were picked third in their preseason poll, that being Adelphi, behind St. Rose, who, after just surely dominating the NE10 last season, just one of the all-time seasons by any team in NE10 history. But St. Rose was picked first, undeniably, with 9 first-place votes. Franklin Pierce, though, not to be counted out, they got 2 first-place votes, earning them last year. They were the one team that really did give St. Rose some scares. Issing took it off the defender. Now coming the other way, Apicella threads the needle nicely into Issing. Issing takes the shot. That goes off the top of the crossbar, unable to get the rebound. Was Mushhorn.
Post. This is my boy.
I make that Trehi, who was following it up. And now Holy Family able to play out of their coverage all the way off her line.
Oh!
Lopez had to get it right. And Alba Lopez Martinez does just that. That was ambitious from Lopez. Holy Family on the counter, off to the races. That was one of the things that, through the early part of the season, head coach Brick Rose, and I think a lot of teams in the early going, always have to figure out, hey, how do we stay solid against counterattack? You know that Adelphi want to retain the majority of possession. They had 61% possession against Malloy in that 1-0 win. So you know they're going to have possession. They outshot the Lions 16-2 They had 13 corner kicks in that game, their most since 2016. But again, it's one thing to have all that possession. It's another thing to, again, put the numbers forward that are going to be required to have that possession, i.e. leaving in holes in behind on a counterattack that we just saw from Holy Family. But boy, was that close on that shot from Issing, working so beautifully with Apicella. And you could call this level of collegiate soccer, call it D2, that's what it is, but in that pass from Apicella, D2, D1, I don't care what you call it, that was just a phenomenal piece of skill. Here's Trahey, who had that ball bounce up on her on the rebound. Trahey calling for it again. Perpendicular pass cut off easily. Controlled by Benelis. Benelis started 11 and 12 games last season on the back line. And the team allowed just 1 goal or less in 10 of those starts. So Benelis, pretty good track record for her at the back. Just about a foot or two shy of Apicella. Goalkeeper Conway off her line. The freshman who has played in 2 games. 68 total minutes, 6 saves for Conway so far this year, the freshman out of Doylestown. And for Holy Family, the 2 players they lost that they had to replace, as this game's still 0-0 with just about 9 minutes off the clock here in the first half of action on any 10 now. But the 2 positions they had to replace, the only 2 starters that this Holy Family team lost, was Brianna Podlow, a 2-time CACC goalkeeper of the year, and Jacqueline Ziegler, who was first on the team in points with 5 goals and 4 assists. Again, the only 2 starters from last year's, say, most played starting lineup. They did have 2 of those 11 positions that were not guaranteed starters, where they had multiple players starting 4, 5, 6 games last season. But by and large, they had 9 players who were not strangers to a starting 11 returning to it under head coach Jill Reeves this year. Apicella turning on it, left it a little bit short, but poked nicely by Hellman. Now here's Issing again. Adelphi unafraid to reset possession, recycle it. That one given away, but again, once you give it away, you get it right back. And I think head coach Brooke DeRosa, while she might not be too happy with some of the passing in this heat, and also due to the humidity too, it takes you a little bit of time to figure out in these kind of hot conditions. You got to put a little bit of extra mustard on that ball, or these perpendicular passes aren't going to get to their targets. That's enough by Mushorn.
I am number 1.
That's a long shot. Maybe trying to play a through ball into Apicella, but caught between 2 minds was Hellman. The junior from Sayville making her first start this season, having come off the bench for 3 shots so far. Had 2 assists last season and a goal 2 years ago. And
I don't know if this is the same.
what will be a talking point for this Holy Family team, you have a bunch of players that starters today that were starters back in either 2019 season or either the spring of 2021 or the fall of 2021, as that is what Holy Family played in the CACC. They were starters in those seasons, but they weren't necessarily starters last season. And now they're trying to return to prominence. Taken away by Kilkenny. Mushorn wins it for her side. Another throw-in on the near sideline. Kilkenny, arguably the player to watch for Holy Family. The all-CACC second-teamer. Started all 19 games last year. 2 goals, 33 shots, 13 shots on goal. Here comes Trahey again. Looking for that switch of play. Instead, trying to play on Issing, and Issing just could not hold her run. And I think if Issing hadn't held her run, and that one went through, then the goalkeeper surely would have caught up to it. So it's a little bit of a timing error for Adelphi. Leads at our second offside of this first half. We're just about 11 and a half minutes in. 1 player warming up for Holy Family, so Coach Reeves, maybe somebody she wants to change up a little bit. Preseason over, the regular season has begun, but again, for both these teams, as they work their way through their non-conference schedules, Adelphi even with Mercy up next. At home on Tuesday. That's another huge matchup. Mercy is expected to be, and you could say even in the early going, it's a class of the ECC. So you know if you want to challenge yourselves when it comes to East Region action or even NCAA action, then, well, yeah, of course you got to qualify for the NE10 tournament first. You got to get far enough where you qualify for the NCAA tournament, but then you know a team like Mercy will likely be awaiting you. Getting her feet stuck was Murphy, and much more just going to clean that one up. Had to read that ball just well enough, but avoid the body of Issing, who is rushing on, and Issing collects. Mushorn. Apicella runs onto it. Whistle is silent as Schmidt gets to it. Tried to cut two, but gave it away. Penacal. A little bit of a push in the back. Again, the ref keeping that whistle silent. So far, early indications are that this officiating crew is going to let them play. They're going to call the offsides, of course. Another little infractions like that, but again, that's another bump on the ball. So again, setting the standard early, hoping that these two teams neither take liberties. Almost fell into the path of Apicella. She gets it back. Looking out wide, Schmidt. That one deflected, and that's still loose, but finding a way. And a correction here, it looks like in net, that is number 1, not Conway, as was originally reported, but number 1, Jana Pruse, who is the regular starter. So Pruse, the freshman, though, from Brookhaven, Pennsylvania, seemingly in the early going, has won the freshman goalkeeper battle. Went to Sun Valley. And a lot of these players are, that being of Holy Family, either Philadelphia natives themselves or from the surrounding areas. Local recruiting to the letter. Tough giveaway in the midfield. Big shot leads to a big goal as Holy Family did not have much of the ball, but when they did get it, they knew exactly what to do with it. They go up 1-0 with 30:52 remaining in the first half. Battle. Went to Sun Valley. And a lot of these players are, that being of Holy Family, either Philadelphia natives themselves or from the surrounding areas. Local recruiting to the letter. Tough giveaway in the midfield. Big shot leads to a big goal as Holy Family did not have much of the ball, but when they did get it, they knew exactly the other way, quickly looking for the immediate answer. Crossed in, headed away for a corner, so again, Adelphi, they were able to bounce back rather quickly. They find themselves on the corner for the first time. But Hooten just took it away. Went right at it. We also had a substitution after that goal was scored. Izzy Mignon comes in for Stephanie Marino. So here's the corner. In swinger. That one could be trouble over the head of the goalkeeper. Trahey looking for some options. And looking to reset is Romano. A little bit of a heavy touch by Benelis, but she was able to get free. Now Hellman. Hellman still on it. Crossing in, that one hit the outside part of the net. Holy Family, again, about 15 minutes in, one shot on goal, and one goal. They also did get a save from the goalkeeper, Pruse. That's when this one's knotted up 1-0. So knotted up, no, not knotted up at all. It's 1-0 to the Tigers. And that was just a mistake in the midfield, giving the ball away. And that's what happens too when you're playing those defensive midfielders and you bring them in between the center backs. If they give it away in that position, that means you're not going to have the right angle. And if it's a clean tackle like we saw from Hooten, she was just able to turn and fire a long one. Maybe a learning experience too for Alba Lopez, who was a little bit off her line. Corinne Hess. Long run down that left sideline against Violi. Leads to nothing more than a goal kick. Yeah, that was the point in the game where Adelphi is going to not only look for an answer, but look to figure some things out, reset, because it feels like you're on the front foot. Because, again, they have had the Lions' share, the Panthers' share of possession. But so far, it has led to the 3 shots and a hit of the crossbar. Did not find the underside of the net. And then the rebound was unable to be collected by Trahey off that shot from Issing. And as you see with Madison Apicella, it takes just one moment of magic to make something happen. Kilkenny coming forward and just rode off it by Trahey. Little 50-50. Benellis with an on-rushing Tiger attacker. Here's Schmidt getting in behind. Schmidt makes one step over move, can't make the second. Poked away by Joyce. So again, when Adelphi's look good, it's looked good. But now they just have to find the back of the net. Trahey, Apicella, 2 came at her. She evaded the first and the second, but couldn't evade the third. That is just a clean slide tackle by Murphy. Well done. Issing picks it up. And they're going to say that, well, first they had a substitution coming, but they're going to say last touch by Issing. So it's been a tough go of things so far for Adelphi, again, just because they find themselves on the front foot.
Checking in for the Tigers is number 32, Rebecca Casper.
Now Schmidt again. Schmidt has found room and space to burn. Cross in, and that was tipped. Issing didn't get a good look on it. As Rebecca Casper, that was her first action in the game. And Casper was up to the task, the junior from Licka Hill, New Jersey. And that part of New Jersey that, I mean, people in Philadelphia ask, there is no such thing as an East Philadelphia, but from that part of New Jersey that technically is East Philadelphia, it just happens to be across the river and in New Jersey. .25:07 remaining in the first half. And shots 4-1 in favor of the Panthers, but the number that matters, that's goals. 1-0 in favor of Holy Family, who have made 24 consecutive CACC tournament appearances, dating all the way back to the 1999 season, the first year of that tournament's existence. Mushorn, who else but Schmidt, on the offside line well. In behind, Schmidt looking in. Another slide tackle that had to be made, or Issing was going to find the back of the net. Mushorn, though, stepped into the midfield from way out, and Mushorn just over by about 1.5 feet. Adelphi have been dangerous from the opening whistle, and they continue to be dangerous. In this heat, that's going to be one of the big questions for them. How long can they sustain this pressure, looking for an equalizer? Counter argument, defending can sometimes be much more tiring than attacking. So if they're going to have possession, that being Adelphi, that pressure you'd think eventually will wear down the Tigers' back line, who they have had to throw in some important tackles, particularly the lady on the ball there in Joyce, who has shifted over with some of the changes on the back line. Hellman. Adelphi yet to make any changes. Apicella. You notice every time Holy Family did their homework, every time Apicella touches the ball, she's got 2 or 3 around her. That didn't go back to the goalkeeper that had a chance of being an offside call. Salmon. They work the triangle well out to Mushorn, so that means she's got space. Apicella checking 2, but again it's back out to Schmidt. Apicella wanted it to Schmidt originally, and Issing knew that she was offside, and the flag goes up again. Adelphi knows where to attack, and they've, not being Holy Family, changed this up just a little bit. Casper has come out as the left back, but they're almost allowing Schmidt in behind. Holy Family really pushing numbers forward. Wanting to make this game up and down. Kind of trusting themselves in a track meet. And that'll unsettle a team like Adelphi, who does want to have possession and knows what they can do with it. Another substitution for Holy Family. This time, Jenna Monaco comes in for Skirchi.
Checking in for the Tigers is number 10, Gianna Monaco.
Monaco, the senior from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Selected to the CACC All-Tournament team last season. Also started 12 of the 17 games. Again, one of those examples of a player who, am I going to be a starter? Am I a guaranteed starter? But is just getting her first action of the season right now. So expect maybe when she revs up to full fitness by the time conference season begins that she might find herself in the starting lineup on the regular. Scored 5 goals with an assist and 11 points last season. Apicella. An odd strategy too. Holy Family allowing Apicella to turn and saying, all right, well, even if she turns, then we're going to crowd her out at that juncture. And it's worked so far because here's Holy Family out on the counter again. They're saying, all right, if Violi's going to get forward, we're going to try to exploit that space in behind. They've been doing it more on the right than they have been attacking Mushorn, and I think that is a little bit on purpose. It's not to discredit anything of Violi. Again, has looked like a guaranteed starter through 3 games so far this season. The all-league, all-county, I probably should start with all-state player at East Islip, the 2021 Suffolk County Class A champion. Maybe the proudest accomplishment might be for her parents. She's a member of the Ambassadors of Compassion Leadership Program. As trite as it might sound, those are the kind of little things, too, that coaches look for in recruiting, more than just some soccer skills. Schmidt's got some skills. She gets in behind again, but overdoes this one. A little bit of too much time in the microwave on that crossover to Issing. And it does feel like, to continue on that microwave metaphor, that there are some kernels left to be popped for this Adelphi attack. As we have a heat advisory timeout with 20:14 remaining here in the first half. So a chance where, again, Adelphi have yet to make a substitution. An opportunity for them to get some water, reset, have a quick word with the coaching staff. So again, the heat is going to play, at this point now, with a 1-0 lead, into Holy Family's hands. There is still more than 65 minutes of action remaining, so still a lot left to play. We're in a game when Adelphi has 5 shots to 1. Again, the way that one was scored, not even on the counterattack, against the run of play, it was a one-woman show. Alyssa Hooten took it right off the foot, I believe, of either Trehi or Romano, and then unloaded a big shot with the goalkeeper Lopez off her line. So what we do know is, coming out of this timeout, Hellman will check out, and someone will be checking in for her. Gonna have to see who that player will be. And we are seeing from this distance that Morgan Salmon having pretty long conversation and discussion with one of the assistant coaches in Paul Yardy. As Brooke DeRosa has plenty of help this year in her 9th season. Paul Yardy, who's been with her for so much of her tenure. Then Mervyn Shade, continuing on as a goalkeeper coach. Danny Leone Jr., Manny Murao, Madison Piccioni, and Will Fraunhofer, all assisting head coach Brooke DeRosa this year. Meanwhile, for Joe Reeves, she's helped out by Jerry Keehan and Melissa Lavish. Melissa Lavish, the assistant coach, also some relation to the freshman midfielder from Percy, Pennsylvania, and a Penridge product, Jessica Lavish. We haven't seen her yet in this game, but has played 86 minutes rather this season. Again, from a pretty good Penridge program in the greater Philadelphia area. Just clearing it out of bounds is Benellis. If you're the back line, it doesn't have to be pretty. Just clear your lines and worry about it later. Correction, too, it seems like Hellman has stayed in the game. So, no substitution pattern just yet for Adelphi. Casper. That was an intended cross that wound up not finding any feet of a Holy Family player into the hands of Lopez. Lights are on here, and again, I think for the players' sake, they're hoping that the sun descends rather quickly. Maybe the one positive thing about the late start tonight was that we saw some trickery there from Cruz. Maybe the play of the game so far, because Schmidt was barreling down and Schmidt didn't fall for any of it. Nice 50-50 win on the tackle by Trahey, and she finally gets that whistle to blow. And some applause from the Matamet Field faithful. The sophomore who was an all-NE10 13 selection last year, also on the all-tournament team, as well as the all-rookie team, sophomore Trahey. So don't forget about Trahey with Apicella and all of her accomplishments. Trahey, also an important player last year. Again, only starting 9 of the 17, but one of those players that you start her and you sit her with the understanding that she knows that there are players that she will be replacing to graduation the following year. And some of those included Hannah and Haley Franco on the wing, Victoria Calatosi, Alexa Mihail, Lauren Haggerty, and then another one on the wing, Ashley Borriello. Salmon looking for Schmidt again. This time Casper in position to clean that one up pretty easily with 17:40 remaining in the first half. Again, still 5-1. Adelphi leads in shots, 1-0. Holy Family leads on the scoreboard.
Let's go Tigers!
Now
We
we
need
finally
more
get a
goals. Come on.
substitution. And
Let's
it
go,
is
Vandy.
Hellman who takes a seat. Coming in for her is no surprise, as she is featured in the first 2 games of the season, and that is Sophia Cataldo, the freshman from North Massapequa, New York, and the Plain Edge product. Cataldo, an exciting player coming out of Plain Edge. A 2-time All-Stater, 2-time All-County, of course, was a Newsday Top 100, also an All-Conference player from a pretty competitive family, too. Sister Gianna plays women's lacrosse at DeSales in the greater Bethlehem, Pennsylvania region, about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Philadelphia. And very much like Viola, we also recruited a little bit for some of her extracurricular activities. Cataldo was a regular volunteer at the yearly Kick for a Cure fundraiser. And it's only a matter of time for Cataldo. The head coach, Brooke DeRosa, does like that spark she provides. Said she's got good speed, good athleticism. And there are some other options, too, on the bench, especially up top. Ola Kachansky, at what point will we see her? in this game. Maria D'Angelo, at one point we see her in the game. You have Daniela Mejia in the midfield. So there are some regular starters, as well as another freshman from Hicksville, New York. Graduated from Hicksville back in the 2019 season, where she was all county, all conference, and all class. And that is Kaylee Goodrich. So there are still plenty of aces up the sleeve, as Mushorn, maybe the only ace that they might need tonight, had to make a last-ditch, I don't even want to call that a tackle, but a step-in on the cross. Once again, well done by the Holy Family Tigers back line, dealing with all of this pressure. Grace Joyce has come up so big time and time and time again. So far, I think the woman of the match has been Grace Joyce, the center back for Holy Family. Schmidt on the wrong side of the tackle, and Casper decides to reset possession for her team. Trehe wins it. Now here comes Cataldo. Cataldo, too much of a step, looking for that cut back in, but the defender didn't fall for it. And that one rolled harmlessly into the arms of Pruge. With 14:40 remaining here in the first half, Adelphi still looking to try to break through with an equalizer. While Holy Family, obviously they're going to be happy with and be nursing that 1-goal lead. And again, came so much against the run of play, but it was a mistake by the midfield of Adelphi, and at this level you get burnt for your mistakes. Turnover by Holy Family. Now with some speed. Cataldo up top, as Apicella has dropped into more of an attacking midfielder role. Looks like Apicella will actually get a rest as well. Well, she thought she was, but no, it's going to be Schmidt instead. Apicella stays out there, saying, "Oh, who, me? All right, I guess I'll continue playing defensive midfield." Such a versatile player. As promised, Costanci from Santa Mariches, New York, the junior. Played 3 games last year and 15 the year before. And is expected to, whether as a starter, she started one of the 2 so far this year, or one of the 3 now. Expected to be a major contributor, whether a starter as a bench option. Second corner of the game for Adelphi. Another in-swinger and another bit of trouble. Punched away, but not out of the box just yet. Now here comes Holy Family on the counter. Monaco. Holy Family, well done to reset possession. Loper. He's had a quiet day, but he's been solid in the midfield for Holy Family. Hannah Florentino, the number 16 for Holy Family, who's checked in, misplays that ball. The graduate student from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. One of a number, and I do mean a number of players from Nazareth Academy. You can see the recruiting pipeline. Nazareth Academy High School, one of those private Catholic all-girls high schools in the Philadelphia area. Right there on Grant Avenue. Almost in walking distance of Holy Family's campus.
It is.
Not too far from the Sky Zone trampoline park. Don't ask me how I know that. It just, when you go to a trampoline park, you don't forget going to a trampoline park. 11:42 left to go here in the first half. Holy Family still up by 1. And that's another foul. This one, the first foul committed, I believe, by Adelphi in the game. This game's been pretty clean in the way that the ref has allowed them to play through contact. But again, it hasn't gotten chippy yet. And you'd expect that two teams out of conference, third game of the season, in the heat and the humidity, you don't want things to get too chippy. Nobody wants to play that kind of game. Mushorn had to clear, not all the way cleared until Salmon comes through for the second effort. Apicella trying to hold it up is Kachansky, who's taking the spot as a center forward. This one a bit too far for her and cleaned up rather easily by Penical. The Holy Family, they've got graduate students, they've got some seniors, and a lot of their team also bolstered by new freshmen, incoming recruits, similar to Adelphi. And they did lose a number of players, but as long as they retained Apicella, who was so important to their team last year, that's a punch out, some physicality in the box, but had to get it right, was Pruz. And whether it was some trickery from a few minutes ago or that punch there, now Pruz along with Joyce, they have been so big for Holy Family, and a big reason why there's a 0 in front of the Panthers on the scoreboard. Out to this right wing, and they've got to get their spacing right. Schmidt had it down, but Cataldo says, I got my spacing wrong, sure, but I'm going to cross this one in. Awkwardly punched by the goalkeeper. Apicella keeps it alive and unable to turn on it on the shot. Goes way over. And Adelphi, they've had their chances. They've had their opportunities, not like Wilmington. Another substitution with 9:15 to go in the first half. Kendra Jimenez comes in for Adelphi, the senior from Broomfield, Colorado, making her season debut. Played 4 games in the early part of the season last year, and then went down. Again, making her season debut is Jimenez, and then Jessica Levish, again with a relation to one of the assistant coaches, checks in for the first time today. Well done on the through ball. Holy Family in a dangerous position now, but that cross no good. Miscontrolled by Jimenez. The Holy Family will continue to have possession in Adelphi's third. 8:25 left to go in the first half. Another takeaway. This one by Issing. This allows Adelphi to reset. They give it right back. And then an errant slide tackle, last touch by Vanilla. She's the one who made the error on the pass, and so she gives the throw in to Holy Family. Continue to use their bench. Again, with that heat, having a long bench, able to play a number of players you can trust to run around and get stuck in, work hard. That's how you get the points here. And for the non-conference slate, not so much points, but the win. Lopez Martinez lets it jump in her hands. And spent 2 years at Cowley, where she played 13 games, starting 8 of them as a sophomore. Had a 3-2 record with a 1.63 goals against average in 2022 at Cowley. Having been recruited from Santa Ponsa, Mallorca. I always have to compliment any players coming out of the beautiful island in Spain of Mallorca. And known for their beaches and their pristine restaurants and tourism. How anybody finds time to do anything but enjoy the scenery and enjoy their time in Mallorca. I guess it's a little bit different for the locals. They do produce a number of collegiate soccer players too. Does that region of Spain. Not too far from the eastern part of Spain, the Valencian region, the Catalan region. Adelphi again in the final third of Holy Family. Mushorn keeps it in. Here comes the cross. And too much on the cross. Apicella was looking to make a move at the far post. Still 6:09 remaining in the first. Adelphi knows that if they can get an equalizer here before they go into the break, that can change everything. It changes the entire conversation during halftime for both these sides if Adelphi can find an equalizer. And if your Holy Family is saying, if we can go up 2-0, I don't know how much that changes for Adelphi, but almost falls to Trahey. With a bit of contact, nothing to it. And every time they get out on the counter, that's a miscommunication there. Salmon had to be the first one to it, had to be alert. And then Lopez just smacks it forward. Well done on the header. Into the path of her teammate. And Mushhorn inside position, has to get this right. Almost took her down. Ref doesn't blow the whistle. Still caught in her feet. Back out wide. Adelphi. Some dangerous decisions there in the box. Holy Family unable to capitalize, but still playing with their food when they themselves haven't yet eaten. With 4:48 remaining in the first half. Samantha Bastino comes in for Lexi Murphy, as well as the number 22, Sarah Shaholski, another senior from Philadelphia. So far for Holy Family, we've had 9 substitutions, just 3 for Adelphi. Then you also have to begin to wonder about the availability tonight of Kaylee Goodrich. Did go a few years without playing soccer at this level, but again was just a high recruit out of Hicksville back in the latter part of last decade. So maybe just a little bit of rust to work off for Goodrich, but looks absolutely fantastic in her first 2 appearances. Maybe no rust at all, to be honest. Salmon.
Ladies!
Still Holy Family. They've really controlled these last few minutes here as we near the 3-minute mark in the first half. Adelphi trying to figure out a way to get out of their own way. They're looking to build up out of the back, but Holy Family is bringing up those bodies, bringing up the pressure, and keeping this ball in. So now if Adelphi scores here late in the first, it'll be against the run of play. Very much like the Holy Family goal came. That one will be Panther ball. So let's see with 2:45 what kind of offensive move they have going. Long throw in, Mushhorn. One on. But nobody to it. So again, it comes right back into Adelphi's half. Romano steps in. And Trahey. Well done, Romano.
Nothing.
So here comes Adelphi building up again. 2:19, plenty of time to go. Mushhorn. First time cross into a crowd. Cleared by a Tiger. Benellis misplays that header. And now it's Eva Hooten, the other Hooten, sister of the pairs of twins, or the pair of twins. She was the one running onto it, but able to cover for her partner, as well as the goalkeeper, Lopez. They handled it, but it leads to a corner. And of course, Holy Family is going to be in no rush with 1:43 remaining in the first half, nursing that 1-0 lead. I don't know if it's just been an interesting trend, but so many games so far in Division 2. Maybe it's as teams get used to it. Maybe it's a trend I haven't seen in recent seasons, but I feel like you're seeing a lot of big blowouts. I mean, 5-0s or 6-0s or 4-0s around, or you're seeing 0-0s and 1-1s and 1-0s, and either teams that are evenly matched and tactics have changed so much where teams are figuring out how to cover for themselves a little bit better and making things more of a, not to say a defensive masterclass, but have games like this where you get outshot in the first half 6-1, you find yourself up 1-0 with your one shot being on goal and finding the back of the net. Yeah, but then you have a lot of blowouts where it seems just like this season in Division 2 where there are teams jockeying for different positions in different divisions that you do have some discrepancies in talent at this point. And these are trends that coaches not only have to be aware to, but they have to recruit accordingly and set up their schedule accordingly. And the task at hand, though, doesn't change. It's to take the team you have, the team you've built, the team that you've worked with, and get to the postseason. Adelphi with a free kick with 22 seconds remaining. Salmon's going to pop this one right into the back post. Headed away. And the ricochet off Violi will probably end this first half and send the Panthers into it with a 1-0 deficit. So then the stats for you in that first half, 6-1 in favor of the Panthers. One shot on goal rather apiece for both these teams. 2 corners to 1 for Adelphi. 3 fouls for the Panthers. Holy Family pretty, we'll say, reasonable with their physicality. Just 2 fouls on them. Adelphi was offsides 4 times to the Tigers 1. And 1 save was made by Pruz, 0 for Lopez. While Pruz did face 6 shots and handled them all pretty reasonably. Punching clear, dealing with the corners. Pruz and Joyce so far for Holy Family contenders for co-women of the match, with the 1 goal being scored by the number 27, Alyssa Hooten. Her 2nd goal of the season, and right now, the winner at the half. We'll be back in just about 14 minutes and change on the other side of the break here on NE10 Now.
Here is Walton. Oh, gets it back out to Silva. Silva crashes in right side. Gets it to go. He is the program's all-time leading scorer. He points to the bench and says,
Back to 14 minutes, guys. You know what?